Hello, friends. Mary here with Boomers Blooming. I hope your day has been going well. I live in the South, and it is cold here today. I don't even know if it got up to 40 degrees. And so I got up this morning and I started searching for my comfy. This is what they call a comfy. You know, see there? It's called the comfy. It's almost like a snuggles. You know those things that they call snuggles? It's fleece-like, I think you call it. Feels almost like velvet almost, but it's fleece-like. Boy, this thing is certainly warm. I got up this morning and I searched for it and I couldn't find it. And finally I found it. I'm like, oh, that's my comfy. And so I put it on and I went outside and I sit on my front porch and I drank my coffee. Well, it was pretty cold then, so I didn't sit out there very long. But I came inside and I kept it on because I haven't really turned my heat up in my house yet. Like I said, I live in the South, and this is some of the coldest weather we have had this season. So I said, well, let me keep this on. It feels so good. It's so soft. It's almost like it's almost like a throw. But you pull it over your head. I think I got this from QVC. So it's almost like a throw. And it's almost like a hug. It like just hugs your body. And I love it. But you know, when I woke up this morning, I was watching television and I see where the shutdown is pretty much over. I think it has a few more hoops it has to go through, but I just would say that the shutdown is over. And you know, that's a good thing. But when I turned the television on this morning and they were talking about the concessions that had to be made. And I'm like, oh man, and one of the concessions was with healthcare. How the premiums for healthcare could go up. Some of them could even double or quadruple. And I'm like, man, with the cost of everything and with food and gas and homeowners insurance and property taxes and all of those things, how can we as Americans afford healthcare premiums and healthcare to go up? So I was a little disappointed. But then I started thinking about it and I watched a commentator on television and he brought up a good point. In order to get the government up and running again, because so many people were suffering, EBT was getting ready to be cut off. SNAP was getting ready to be cut off. The air was becoming unsafe. Flying was becoming unsafe in our air because of the air traffic controllers and the TSA and all the federal workers. People were really suffering, you know, during the shutdown. And I thought, well, the shutdown is over. And I know concessions had to be made. But my concern, especially since I'm a senior, is health care. Now, I'm on Medicare, but for those people who have to purchase their own insurance, I don't know really how that's going to work out, except that I do believe that premiums are going to skyrocket. And some people are not going to be able to purchase health insurance. That was my thing when I started thinking about the concessions that were made in order to bring the shutdown to a close and to open the government back up. And so, like I said, at first I was kind of upset. Well, you know, why did they do that? They know what was at stake. And the healthcare program of so many millions of Americans in this country, they knew what was at stake when they threw their lot in and voted, okay? But when you look at the condition of the country at that time, these last, what it has been, 40 days, 41 days, the longest shutdown in the history. I could see why the choice was made. The choice was made. So many people, like I say, were suffering. There were threats of food and just so much that the government offered to help people. Food stamps, EBT, the federal workers standing in food lines, the Army personnel, Air Force personnel not being paid. That had to be really terrible. In fact, that couldn't have gone on and on. It just couldn't. It would have caused so many other problems that would ripple down from that were already rippling down because of the shutdown. So when I really thought about it, and I'm like, well, maybe you couldn't get what you wanted at the beginning, but it was important to open the government back up. So concessions had to be made. That's how I look at it now. Because at first I was like, oh no, healthcare is in jeopardy. And you know, but then when I really looked at it, you know, big, the ramifications and the consequences of what's going on as far as the government being shut down, and how so many people were affected, and how it was becoming unsafe to travel in the air, how it was the airports were canceling planes, and they were canceling flights, and we're coming into the holidays, and that was going to even affect the holidays. And I'm like, well, you know, sometimes in life we have to make concessions, not because we want to, but we make them because we look at the big picture. That's really what I'm saying, looking at the big picture of all of it. Sometimes we make concessions, sometimes we compromise because we're looking outside of the box and we're looking at the big picture. Now, I certainly hope and pray that health insurance does not skyrocket, that it does not double, triple, or quadruple for people, because that would be terrible. Healthcare in this country is already too high. It's already out of pocket for so many Americans. And if I was not on Medicare, well, my Medicare has been affected too. I'm having to pay more for my Medicare, not premium-wise, but, you know, if I have to go to a specialist or urgent care, if I have to have maybe blood work done or MRIs done, which I hope I don't have to have any of that done, but those things are going to cost me more, and I'm a senior on a fixed income. So in 2026, I've decided just to stay with my insurance that I have, managed Medicare, that I have through Aetna where I live. That's, you know, it's offered by counties, and that's pretty much the best insurance that I can get in my county. So I don't think I'm going to change. I think I'm just going to stay with them, even though it's going to be more expensive for me if I have to have certain procedures done. And I'm not the only one. It's you know, last year, 2024, because I'm on Medicare, the insurance companies offered us a lot of perks, you know, over the counter. They would give you an allowance. They would give you a card so you could go into the drugstores and you could buy over the counter items. And then they even gave us a small food card. Well, I got a small one. I don't know about some of the other people. But they even gave us a food card. And some people, depending on what county you lived in, depending on how much you got, how much money, how much was loaded on that food card, okay? Well, I received one of those food cards, and wasn't a whole lot. through my insurance company. But you know, in 2025, they cut out a lot of that. And then in 2026, it's like non-existent. There's no over-the-counter. There's no food card. There's none of that. So, but I had an agent to tell me that don't worry so much. Don't let that be your focus, these perks. Because when they give you these perks, you better believe that somewhere in that policy, you're paying for those perks. And the way to look at this is to see, look at your health care coverage. Don't look at the over-the-counter card and the food allowance. Look at what the insurance is going to offer you when you need it. That's what if your doctors are covered, if your hospital are covered, if your medications are covered. Those are things to look at more so than over-the-counter perks, okay? And when that was brought to my attention, I could readily see that. Yeah, I could see that. It's more important to me, rather than over-the-counter stuff, that I don't have to pay as much for the services that's offered through my insurance company. So, I think I'm going to stay with who I have. I think it's the best one that's offered in my county. And yes, I will be paying more next year. And it did really make sense to know that these perks they were giving us, they were added into the policies. We just didn't see them. But they're giving you things that look like they're giving you things, but they're rolled into the policy itself. Things, you pay more in certain areas to take advantage of the perks they're giving you. So, you know, if you see the screen going back and forth, it's because I should have turned my television off because I'm sitting back here in my den. But that's all right. You can see me. We can talk. And so, like I said, at first I had mixed feelings. Well, what about health insurance? Why did, you know, how is that going to work for millions and millions of people? But I guess it's just one step at a time. And I guess looking at the big picture, it was to get the government open. Because the longer it stayed shut, the more harm it was going to do. The commentator even said it was a possibility that you could have airplanes colliding in the air because of the absence of the air traffic control. Now that would have been terrible. I can't even really wrap my head around something like that happening. But it could have, along with a lot of other things that could have happened. So, sometimes I guess you just have to look at the big picture. Now, do I hope that healthcare is not affected? Do I hope that premiums and they don't double, quadruple? I hope that doesn't happen. Because how can people pay this? Everything is so high already. Maybe it won't happen. Even though I think it may, you know. So, in looking at the big picture, getting the government open, I believe at this point we needed to do it because so many things were going to happen with the government staying closed. So many things. Put down there in the comments, friends, what you think about that. I know some people think, oh, they should have held out, shouldn't have compromised. What do you think? I try to look at the big picture. Put down in the comments some of your feelings about this, what you think about it. Do you think it could have been handled a different way? Do you think they should have held out longer? Are you concerned about healthcare premiums going up? Are you concerned about people being kicked off Medicaid? Are you concerned about people losing their insurance protection? Are you one of them? Are you one of them that you are afraid you're going to lose your health coverage? You don't have money left in your budget to pay for these premiums? Put down in the comments some of the things that are on your mind now since we have opened the government. And so, like I say, I'm just sitting here. I love this little comfy. Like I say, they call them Snuggies too. And because it's a little chilly in my house, This just feels so good. Like I said, it's like a hug. It's just like a hug, friend. You know, I took the shingle shot last Friday. Now, the first shingles, because it's a two-part vaccine. The first shingles vaccine I took back during the summer, I didn't have a problem. But this second shingle shot, even though I'm feeling better now, just let me say I'm feeling better, it kind of gave me the mini flu. Fever, chills, headache, loss of appetite, sore arm, aches and pains, muscle, bones, aches and pain for about 2 days. So I took it Friday, so I was down Saturday and Sunday. Today is Monday. I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm glad I took it. I'm not regretful that I took the 2-part shingles vaccine. I'm glad because I don't have to worry about that now. But that second shot, it must have been a lot more potent than that first shot. But I'm feeling better, and my appetite is returning, and the muscle aches and pains are pretty much have gone away, and I'm feeling like my old self. I would say I'm about 95% back. So friends, I'm gonna let you go. I just wanted to give a shout out. I wanted to say, hey, I wanted to say I'm thinking about you guys. You know, we're in a pretty, how can I say, we're in a place in time in our country and in the world that I've never seen before. And so now the government is open. A lot of things will start opening up. Federal workers will start getting paid, which they needed to. I just couldn't see them missing their paychecks like that. I mean, like I said, that would have started a lot of other problems. So, you all have a good day, good night, good morning, wherever you are. And I will talk to you all later. Be safe, stay peaceful, and continue to survive. Let's all be survivors.